Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen was the chosen heir, but Otto Hightower and Queen Alicent Hightower stole the throne by installing Aegon in a lavish coronation. In the season finale, Princess Rhaenys Targaryen visited Rhaenyra at Dragonstone to let her know what had happened at King's Landing, including how she had dramatically crashed the coronation. The 10th episode of House of the Dragon opens with Lucerys Valerian at Dragonstone. He is anxious about inheriting Driftmark, but Rhaenyra's role as a good mother gives him more courage. At this point, she learns that Rhaenys has flown all the way from King's Landing to deliver the news. When Rhaenys meets with Daemon and Rhaenyra, she informs them of Viserys' death and the Green's ascension to the throne. Rhaenyra is so shocked by the news that she gives birth much sooner than she anticipated. Dragonstone's knights and Daemon start to defend the fortress against any attacks from the Greens. Rhaenyra's labor is a nightmare because everyone in Dragonstone can hear her screams. Rhaenyra pulls the baby's head out on her own because she is in too much pain to allow any maidens to assist her. The scene is extremely graphic, almost as disturbing as the first episode's birth scene of Queen Aemma. Due to the death of their child, Daemon and Rhaenyra are devastated. We witness Daemon's frail side. They cremate their child after wrapping her infant's body in a blanket. Sir Steffon Darkland shows up at the funeral and gives Rhaenyra her father's crown. Rhaenyra is crowned queen after Daemon takes the crown and places it on her head. He addresses her as his queen as knelt down before her. Everyone at the funeral bows to Rhaenyra and acknowledges her as their queen. One of the most impactful scenes of the entire season had to be this one. Otto arrives at Dragonstone carrying a letter from Alicent, and Daemon charms him in. Rhaenyra responds to his request by flying over them, while Syrax terrorizes every green present in the area. He should address Rhaenyra as the queen, she says. Otto reads the terms in front of Rhaenyra, asking her to accept Aegon II as king in exchange for receiving Dragonstone and Driftmark in accordance with succession laws. After a fierce argument during which swords are drawn, Otto gives Rhaenyra something from Alicent. It is a page torn from the Book of the Septa. It's meant to serve as a reminder of their early affection for one another. Otto is informed by Rhaenyra that King's Landing will have her response tomorrow. After being crowned queen, Rhaenyra must choose between starting a war or staying silent. Despite the advice of everyone in her court, Rhaenyra chooses to focus on gathering allies rather than using their entire dragon fleet to launch a direct assault on King's Landing. This has caused a rift between Daemon and Rhaenyra. Rhaenyra is being counseled by Daemon to defeat the Greens with the power of their dragons because they possess more than the Greens. Rhaenyra is aware that everything burns when dragons battle. She is not interested in ruling over ashes. Rhaenyra makes an effort to explain to Daemon about the Song of Ice and Fire, a family secret that she inherited from her father. She realizes Viserys only told her about it after realizing how irrelevant it was to Daemon. Corlys makes it to Dragonstone alive. He is prepared to give up his desire for the Iron Throne during their conversation with Rhaenys, but Rhaenys prompts him by bringing up their grandchildren. Rhaenyra is the only member of the Seven Kingdoms who is choosing peace over conflict, therefore she chooses to support her. I think Rhaenys recognizes a part of herself in Rhaenyra. Arriving at the court, Corlys swears allegiance to Rhaenyra. Her claim to the throne has the full support of Rhaenys as well. Messages are delivered to gather allies. The Vale, Winterfell, and Storm's End are the last three left. Rhaenyra chose to send her two sons Joffrey and Lucerys to deliver the messages after consulting with her sons and other court members. Luke to Storm's End, Jace to the Vale, and Winterfell. Rhaenyra assures them that as messengers, they are not to fight. Daemon enters a facility that resembles a cave and summons a large adult dragon there. The dragon isn't given a name, but if I had to guess, I'd say it's Vermithor, the mount of King Joffrey. Even though the dragon is enormous, Daemon is not terrified. In fact, he may have already claimed it after looking directly into its eye. It's thought that Vermithor is as large as Vhagar. When Lucerys arrives at Storm's End, he encounters Vhagar. Aemond is already there and has made Borros Baratheon a proposal. Borros makes fun of him because he prefers that Aegon II has given him a marriage proposal rather than Rhaenyra's letter. Aemond catches Luke as he turns to depart and demands an eye. Borros halts him before things get out of hand. However, as soon as Luke climbs atop Arax and gets ready to head out into the blustery night, we notice that Vhagar's shadow hangs over them in the gloomy sky. From this point on, one of the best action sequences I've recently seen on television begins. Luke surprises Vhagar by hiding with Arax when the latter spits fire at him. Vhagar loses control as a result of this. Vhagar is no longer under Aemond's control. When Luke arrives in the clear skies, there is one of the most horrifying silences because he immediately notices Vaegar's open maw approaching him as he looks forward in the sky. With a single bite, Vaegar decimates Arax and his rider Lucerys Valerian. Daemon is shown to Rhaenyra in the final scene of the episode explaining what happened. After hearing this, Rhaenyra turns and shows her rage, becoming the war-ready Black Queen as a result. The Dance of the Dragons then starts. The House of the Dragon Season 1 finale exceeded expectations on every count. My expectations for the finale's dramatic and explosive content were drastically exceeded by how many uplifting and heartwarming moments there were between the characters. If the entire season didn't make you feel bad for Rhaenyra, this episode will. I adore the comparisons and allusions the show made in the concluding episode. Emma's death in the first episode is alluded to in Rhaenyra's gruesome childbirth scene.